the 2016 Nissan Murano. Without question, this is one of the sexiest looking two-row crossovers on the market, and yet it has more cargo space than a Jeep Grand Cherokee. I'm Jay, and welcome to the latest episode of CarBuzz Unboxing Reviews. Before I get started, I'd like to thank future Nissan of Folsom for letting CarBuzz come on down and film this great crossover for you today. So let's get started. Now, the Nissan Murano, this first came out, the first generation, back in 2003. This is the third generation Murano that was launched in 2014, I believe. And just like the original Murano, today's Murano it's just a really good looking crossover, inside and out. And the first generation Murano, I liked it from the first time I saw it because it was different looking than the other crossovers at the time, and you can just tell that Nissan gave it a real premium look inside and out, and the same goes for the Murano you are looking at right now. And I'll get to more interior details shortly, but just look at this interior. If you had Infiniti badges, and Infiniti is Nissan's luxury brand, you could almost say this car was an Infiniti if it weren't for that Nissan emblem right on the steering wheel. So this interior, they call this color graphite. It's really like a dark gray, and it's nice. It's premium throughout. Now, I want to clarify something for you too. The Murano, it is a two-row crossover. You cannot get a third row even as an option. You need a third row. You want a Nissan crossover. That's the Pathfinder. I already did an unboxing review of that for you, so you should check that out. Great crossover too. But the Murano, I think it appeals to a slightly different buying audience. It is for people who want luxury. They like that premium look. They like a sexier looking vehicle. The Pathfinder, up until, well, just this year, it looks more like a minivan. It's a family vehicle. This is not necessarily for families. It can be, certainly, but it can also just be for couples who want the space and a nice crossover. But look at this interior. You can definitely tell that Nissan has they've pushed the premium feel. The material qualities are excellent, and I think Nissan deserves a lot of credit for just over the past few years. As I follow the brand, it's improved the build quality so much. And like I keep saying, it's almost literally on par with Infiniti. And it makes me question getting an Infiniti to begin with. Now, what I like about these rear seats, in addition to offering a decent amount of rear legroom space, is that those rear seats recline. And that is really, really nice to have. And of course, they split 60-40 to increase rear cargo capacity. And not only, like I mentioned, is this more cargo efficient than a Jeep Grand Cherokee, but two other models out there as well. I'll tell you that in a few minutes. So under the hood, this is the same 3.5-liter V6 with 260 horsepower and 240 pound-feet of torque that you find in many other Nissan models, such as the Maxima, the Pathfinder, and even the Infiniti QX60. What I like about this engine is that it's naturally aspirated. There's no turbocharger here, so for people who feel that turbo lag in such as the Ford Edge and Ford's EcoBoost engines, you're not going to get that here. This is the only engine that you can get in the Murano except for the Murano Hybrid. And that is actually a 2.5-liter, 249 horsepower four-cylinder, which is paired to an electric motor. And in this car, the only transmission with the naturally aspirated V6 is a CVT. But let's take a little closer look at this dashboard layout here. And what I like about it is that Nissan designed the dash to sit lower as opposed to other crossovers, meaning it's just more within reach of the driver and the front seat passenger. Yeah, and that engine sound, it's nice. There's no turbo lag. When you drive it, it accelerates nicely. 0 to 67.3 seconds. Fuel economy, 21 miles per gallon in the city, 28 on the highway, and a combined 34, which is actually pretty good considering this vehicle weighs about 4,000 pounds. So let's talk about this touchscreen here. Now, what I like about this, it's an 8-inch touchscreen. It has nav and voice recognition, premium audio system, Sirius XM satellite radio, Bluetooth, and overall, it's very simple to use. My favorite infotainment system or touchscreen system on the market is Chrysler's Uconnect system, and I definitely like Nissan's. It's up there. It's not the best. It is definitely better than Toyota's Entune, which I'm still surprised Toyota's actually using that. They really need to come out with something new. But I like Nissan's system even better than Ford's new Sync 3, believe it or not. Now, this Murano, it also comes with dual zone climate control because this is the Platinum, meaning it is the highest trim level Murano you can get. And it's also the front wheel drive model. Now, if you want an all-wheel drive Murano, not a problem. That'll cost you about an extra $1,600. But what's nice is that you can tack on that all-wheel drive to any of the 4 Murano trim levels, even the base S model, which is really nice. Do you need all-wheel drive? Well, it depends on what kind of climate you live in. If you have a lot of rain and snow, then yeah, it's not a bad idea. You're going to hurt some fuel economy numbers a bit. But if you live in mostly sunny year-round climates like that, front-wheel drive is going to be just fine. Save yourself $1,600. And this Murano, obviously, it has full leather interior, leather-wrapped steering wheel and shift knob, front and rear USB ports. Basically, all the stuff you would expect to find on a modern-day, more premium crossover. So let's talk safety here. Now, the Murano, of course, it has many standard airbags, front seat mounted side airbags, roof mounted side curtain airbags with rollover sensors, a driver knee airbag, active head restraints, and of course electronic stability and traction control, hill start assist, and 4-wheel anti-lock brakes. Now, the 2 top trim levels, the SL and the Platinum, they come standard with blind spot monitors and a rear cross traffic alert, which is really good, but this one also comes with Nissan's optional around view camera system, and that helps detect moving objects like children and anything else in the rear, and it'll alert the driver. And I think going for the around view camera system is a smart idea because of the Murano's sexy exterior styling, especially in the rear, you're sacrificing rear visibility. This is really cool. Now, these seats, the front driver's seat is 8-way powered, and the passenger seat is 4-way powered, but they're NASA-inspired zero-gravity front and rear outboard seats for added comfort. And they're inspired by the neutral posture humans have, and it's aimed at reducing fatigue from taller drivers with adding more support for the pelvis to the chest, specifically through the lumbar area. And they are very comfortable seats. In fact, I'm going to even go out and say that these are probably some of the most comfortable seats that I have seen in any crossover on the market. Now, what's also interesting about the Murano is that it's built on the same front-wheel drive platform as many other Nissans, including the Pathfinder, the Altima, as well as the Nissan Maxima. So, same platform, more or less, same engine. You see what Nissan is doing here. So how does the Murano drive? Well, essentially it drives like a sedan, only you sit higher. If there's one takeaway that I want you to get from the Murano is that you got to think of it as a taller hatchback version of the Maxima sedan. Heck, Even from the exterior, it looks a lot like the Maxima with that really sexy, aggressive styling language. But the overall ride, from the driver's seat, it has a nice steering feel. It's not really sporty, but also feels composed and provides an excellent ride quality overall. Ah yeah, see, there you go, those reclining rear seats. Really nice to have. It makes longer trips comfortable. And of course, you have an electronic liftgate. And I like having those. Those are convenient, I will say that. So cargo space here. As I mentioned, you can fold the rear seats down. That's great. Pretty standard as well. But in addition to having more cargo space than the Jeep Grand Cherokee, there's also more cargo space here than the Volkswagen Touareg and the Ford Edge. But again, with that exterior styling, the rear visibility, especially with those far back pillars right there, it does hinder it for the driver. The around view system is a very smart option to get. Now, what are some of the other competitors here? Well, you're also going to have the Hyundai Santa Fe Sport. I already did an unboxing review of the Hyundai Santa Fe, which is the 3-row crossover version, the Kia Sorento, and the Dodge Journey. Now, those all started around the same base price in the mid-20s, and they top off to about the mid-30s. But the Jeep Grand Cherokee starts at $30,000, just over, and it tops off at $53,000. The VW Touareg, get this, $43,000 to $64,000. And when I compare the Murano's pricing in a moment, this car is a good value. But look at this exterior first. I mean, it's gorgeous. I love the specific sunset exterior paint. It looks fantastic. And this looks better than traditional crossovers. It almost looks like a concept car. Check out that floating roof with the blacked out side and rear pillars. It makes the roof appear as if it's a separate hovering unit, and it's similar to what's found on the Mini Cooper and Kia Soul. And the body sculpting is dramatic. It catches the eye. There's that distinctive belt line just over the door handles. And I really like those 20-inch machined aluminum alloy wheels. Those pronounced wheel arches. You have LED tail lamps, LED signature and daytime running lamps, LED low and high beam headlights, fog lights. And these silver roof rails on the roof, obviously those are optional. They only cost a few $100s extra, but they're worth having. But yeah, you can see with this rear end here, the visibility is hindered here a bit. Again, you're sacrificing style for, well, daily usability, but I think it's worth making the sacrifice because I like the fact Nissan took such a dramatic design approach to the Murano here. And I like that front end too. It's got that V-motion grille that you also find on the latest Maxima. It's not a look for everybody, but again, it's good that Nissan is taking a more daring approach. They're doing something different. And the results speak for themselves. So let's get back to pricing. A base Murano S is going to go for just under $30,000. Now, also there's the mid-level SV and SL, as well as this top-end Platinum right here, which begins at $39,180, including destination, the splash guards, the roof rail crossbars I mentioned, and some floor mats. This car right here has a grand total of $40,725, which again, compared to the competitors I was mentioning, it's right on track there. The Ford Edge, for an example, $30,000 base to about $42,000. But I also want to clarify something, and this goes for all crossovers here. It's not an off-roader. You want an off-road Nissan, go for the brand new Armada. It's based on the Patrol. I did an unboxing review of that as well. I love that. It's a body-on-frame chassis. This is a standard unibody crossover based on a sedan. Like I said, think of this as a Maxima hatchback. Now, overall, what do I like? I love the styling inside and out. It's a really quiet cabin, nice cargo space, especially when compared to the competitors. What don't I like? Well, just a couple of things. As I mentioned, the lack of rear visibility, but this is nitpicky. There is no height adjustment for the front passenger seat, I noticed, which you should have, especially in a vehicle that can cost up to $42,000. So without question, the 2016 Nissan Murano Platinum front-wheel drive, $42,000, you're getting one of the best overall looking crossovers on the market today. Put it against a Ford Edge and even a Jeep Grand Cherokee, and this is the vehicle people's eyes are going to be drawn to first. Okay, everyone, I'm out of time for today. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any more questions for me, leave them in the comments section below. Any suggestions for future reviews, also leave those in the comments section. And be sure to subscribe to the CarBuzz Unboxing YouTube channel. So, until my next video, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.